In this video, we're going to be taking a look at Microsoft and discussing where it might be headed next. If you like this type of content, I post videos about different stocks every day on my YouTube channel. So if you like this, definitely consider leaving a like and subscribing. My name is Jake, and let's get right into it. So Microsoft has been essentially one of the leaders, if not the leader, in AI, which, in my opinion, is a narrative that not only has been around, but will continue to grow in the next couple years. AI is growing at an exponential rate, and with that, it's going to be used as a narrative for smart money to get people to buy at higher prices. Narratives drive price. This is something I will cover in my third episode of my trading mentorship. So once you understand how narratives work, you can start to really understand where price is going to go in the long term. In order for smart money to sell at a higher price, there needs to be a narrative. In the dot-com bubble, we saw a very similar situation where there was a narrative of these internet stocks to do insanely well, way better than they really were set out to be, and smart money spread that narrative so that dumb money would buy that narrative at a higher price. In general, this is something I think that could happen in the AI space with even some of the best stocks like Microsoft and others. But with that in mind, that does mean that because there's the narrative in place, that Microsoft could definitely continue to see higher prices. Now let's take a look at the chart. So you can see in the last year and a half, ever since the AI really move started with ChatGPT at some point in the last year, it's just gone essentially straight up, besides this dip in the middle of the summer of 2023. And you can see why that happened. I mean, profit taking at all-time highs. Now, Microsoft was a leader at the time. It wasn't like every single other stock was at all-time highs, but Microsoft was. So you can tell that Microsoft is one of the strongest stocks in the stock market right now, maybe the strongest besides Nvidia and maybe Meta. But I mean, definitely a top player and a force to be reckoned with. So now you have to wonder, does it have more room for upside? And my answer to that is actually yes. Because what often happens with narratives is the ones that are winning continue to win throughout the cycle. The narrative cycle, you could call it. So the cycle for this narrative is AI, and the ones that are continuing to outperform will continue to outperform until the bubble bursts. And with that in mind, we could totally see higher prices in the future. But let's talk about the short term, right? In the short term, what I see is there's really two different possibilities, right? We'll talk about the bullish one first. So, actually, in general, let's talk about what in general should happen in the medium term. So this is a range. This is an accumulation range. Meaning that during this time, there were just regular people who were buying and selling. And what smart money wants to do is they want to make sure everyone in this range is going to be wrong. They want to make sure everyone who's longing is going to be underwater, and they want to make sure that everyone who's shorting is being underwater. You can see that already. The people that were shorting have gotten taken out. So anyone who was short, they're taken out. Like, they're underwater, they're panicking, they're taken out. So now in general, in the medium term, what should happen is you should expect to see these lows become targeted so that smart money can take out the longs as well. Doesn't mean this is going to happen right away, but these lows should be taken out so that way smart money can basically buy back at a discount and get people to panic and sell. Maybe this happens on earnings, maybe it doesn't. We'll just have to see. But in a very similar situation, the longs should get taken out. Now, with that in mind, let's get rid of this. It doesn't have to do that yet. And the reason I say that is if it's bullish enough, it should react off of this key level, this $409 key level. Why do I say that? Let's measure it a couple different ways. You also have this level right here. So around this range, which is also corresponding to this 4-hour fair value gap, which is also a daily fair value gap. So in the short term, this could be an area to watch for a short-term reaction and possibly new highs if it really wants to. Why do I say that midpoint could be significant? Well, let's take a stroll down memory lane real quick. When you're in a bull market, a lot of time you get these fake out moves that you would expect to take out the lows, but they don't. Let's go through some examples. Right here, you would possibly expect these lows to get taken out. They did not get taken out. Instead, it went to this midpoint. Let's see. Well, it went slightly above that midpoint. See, those lows didn't get taken out. Over here, actually, these lows did get taken out. So it looks like those are some bad examples. But I think the point I'm trying to make is you can see how in some cases you don't make it to the lows, but in a lot of them you do, right? Boom, those lows got taken out. Boom, these lows got taken out. Before it continued higher, it had to take out these lows. These lows got taken out. Before it continued higher, it had to take out the lows. These lows got taken out. Now let's return to what's going on right now. In a very similar situation, right? These lows probably need to get taken out. And I'm just speaking from a liquidity standpoint, because for smart money to want to get in to continue higher, it's going to want to take out those lows. Once it does take out these lows, you might want to start, if you're interested in Microsoft, it might be a good time to start dollar cost averaging to get into the market once it takes out these lows, because in this range, that's where smart money is going to be buying back. Look at this. In the summer, once it took out the highs, which was pretty clear that it was going to want to take out the lows, right? It took out the highs. What I mean by that is it took out these highs. See that? Take out these highs. Once we saw it take out those highs, it became pretty clear it was going to want to take out these lows. And then it left relatively equal lows, which came back and then took out one last time. And then continued higher. And you can see this is the turtle soup entry right here. One final move down, taking out the relatively equal lows. You get a reaction. Boom. So, like I was saying, in the medium to long term, you're bullish on Microsoft. However, in the short term, you got this sweep, and you should expect that in the medium term, maybe the short term, you should expect that these lows should become a target, and that is where you should accumulate once it gets under these lows. Not financial advice, obviously. I'm not a financial advisor, but this zone, once it takes out these lows, that is your dollar cost averaging buy and hold opportunity if you're interested in Microsoft and the AI sector. With that, I will talk to you in the next one. Bye.